I've had a really interesting time. I've really enjoyed myself, but it's also been kind of tough in a lot of ways. So big part of the reason I came here was to get to know other young friends who are Christian or Christ-centered, which I don't have a lot of in my home meeting. And I've definitely done that, and it's been an extremely powerful experience and a wonderful experience of Christian fellowship and kind of rediscovering the traditional roots of friends. So I've appreciated that. I have had a couple of moments of difficulty, especially in one moment where I was talking with an evangelical friend who, by my FGC affiliation, was skeptical of my desire to see myself and my background more represented in programmed worship, which I felt kind of marginalized by. And so when she did that, I felt put on the defensive because I'm a Christian. I love God. I think the Bible's really important. And so I felt, kind of like, well, who is this person to tell me that the religion that I was raised in, that my mother and grandparents and great-grandparents have been so active in, isn't Christian enough? But we did talk a little bit, and I think that we came to a place of understanding, which was great. But it was tough. It was tough because, I think we all have kind of our assumptions about what other people think, and I know that there are a lot of unspoken prejudices in my meeting about programmed friends in general and evangelical friends in particular. So it's definitely been a learning experience as far as that, and a wonderful one too, because I have learned that evangelical friends and FUM friends are real people too, and real friends, and wonderful, warm, caring people with whom I have actually a lot more in common than a lot of people in my home meeting. Mm-hmm. So it's been a really great experience.
What are you taking back to St. Louis?
What am I taking back to St. Louis? I'm taking back to St. Louis the comfort that I'm not actually the only young adult friend who wants to kind of recover traditional Friends doctrine and traditional Friends practice and recover it in a pure form and not tainted by a kind of hippie, all religions are saying the same thing, which isn't actually true, and also recover it without it being tainted by fire and brimstone evangelical Christianity that I think doesn't represent Christ. And so the fact that there are other friends from all branches who are interested in being friends and not being anybody else is, I think, the best and most powerful treasure that I'm taking back with me to St. Louis, because it encourages me to kind of stick with this crazy society and be a part of the gathering up of a chosen people.
My experience now that I'm here, have been here, has been more fun than I actually thought it was going to be, because like I said, I was coming just because I felt like I was supposed to, and I was being obedient to that feeling. I expected that I would probably be on the margins of the gathering, in part because I haven't felt really spiritually alive lately anyway, so coming to a explicitly religious spiritual gathering wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. But I also knew that the conference was being organized with a specific intent to be able to attract and include evangelical friends, which is a mission that I support, because I support the intention to be as inclusive as possible. The difficulty is that right now we don't really have strong enough relationships or understanding among us to accomplish creating a completely inclusive gathering, but I'm willing to participate in the effort to try to do that. So this gathering, from my experience, was not 100% successful at being 100% inclusive, but I didn't expect that. And I think that I've heard that some people had really strong negative experiences. Other people have had some really strong positive experiences. I feel a little bit neutral. I felt like an outside observer for a lot of the gathering, and I was fine with that role. I really appreciated the friends who spoke from their experience and their experiences, and the ways that those were different from each other and rubbed up against each other. I think that friction is where we need to be able to go. It can be very scary, and I don't really have any suggestions right now about how we can more be willing to put ourselves in that scary, fearful place and engage with each other in that way, other than to just say that I think that's what we need to do. We need to jump into the fire together. I do think that one way to get there is to get to that place where we're willing to jump into the flames, the scariness together, is to get to know people one-on-one. Because I know for myself, when I can really connect with the heart of someone else, another friend, another person in the world, I can see past and feel past the scary differences between us, and I can acknowledge that those differences are there, but I can connect with them on an individual basis. And so the more that friends around the world can reach out and listen to and extend their hand to, share a meal with, another friend who's different from them, I think that'll go a long way towards being able to really address the questions of who are we as a religious society of friends, a diverse religious society of friends, who, in my opinion, don't need to become unified, meaning become all the same as each other. I don't even think we need to all agree with each other, but if we can get to a point where we can be in a space together and be respectful and loving of one another, even if we don't understand why we're all different or why we even have opposing views to each other, that would go a long way towards peace in our society, our religious society, but also in the world.